May it be the first of many. All right, who else has got something good?
I'm closing tomorrow.
Closing tomorrow.
Nice. There you go.
And this one was a battle, a doozy. He sent me a picture yesterday of this guy that's like bloody and scarred and his head's wrapped up, but he's smiling. It's like, I'm fine, everything's fine. So we're gonna get him across the finish line there. Who else? Something good.
How about the Royals? On fire. Hottest team in baseball right now. Yeah, and they looked rough there for a while, so they've picked up the pace.
I need to check him out.
Yeah, best pitching staff in baseball right now. It's good stuff, for sure. Weather sucks, doesn't it? Thank you for, making it in today in spite of the weather, right? Yeah.
Yes, braving
Tough.
that weather out there.
Tough.
It's hard to work when it's like this.
I know, that's the point.
I'm like, I want to go plant something.
All right, what else? Come on, guys.
Come on, guys, wake up.
Come on. We're gonna all
Make-
be jumping
make something
jacks.
up.
We'll do something. Make something up.
Okay, so my
No one
son
will
was
know.
having a hard time finding a house and getting his contract. He's a realtor, not with us, but anyway, so he was having a hard time. I keep trying to bring Mo here, but he woke up, so what else can I say? So he kept getting his offers not accepted, and, so then he just decided he was gonna drive around, find a house that he liked and go up to the door and say, hey, if you wanna sell your house, I would love to buy your house. And it was an older man, and this was in October. He gave him his business card. He said, if you ever wanna sell, I've been wanting to live in Raintree forever, and da 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 da. So the man called him, they got a deal, they're closing, he's selling his house, and it's all working out. And I'm like, wow, that was pretty
Wow.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Good. I love
Good.
that.
Closing on his house at the end of this month. They're all moving in with us, and I'm like, oh, okay. Three little kids, and I'm like, for a little while. But
Yeah.
anyway, and then
Very
they closed June 15th on the house in Raintree. So.
Okay.
That's awesome. That was my neighbor.
Oh, your neighbor?
Your neighbor?
That would be my neighbor.
Oh.
My neighbor. Now I know who bought the house because I asked we're doing an estate sale.
Yes.
We went to Carl and asked Carl about it.
Yes. yes.
Ah, all right.
So so
There we
that's pretty
go.
Awesome.
Well,
What are
we
the
know your
chances?
son. He's wonderful. And just you might want to share that when he was making all those offers that weren't working, if he would have been trained at Southland, he would have got one of them.
I know.
Sorry.
Believe me.
I don't want to take the shine off the new one, but we probably could have got him in one.
Probably so.
You guys win. I don't know.
I was going to list that house.
Nikki was gonna list it.
Sorry.
Mickey just lost a listing. Wah,
I'll
wah,
give you
wah.
one more.
All right,
I'll
yeah.
brag on my partner here a little bit. So, Carrie got her license last year at this time, and it's like, oh, I don't really want to be a realtor. I'll just kind of help you in the office as you need it, this and that a little bit, and that. So anyway, 4 of our last 4 closings have all been clients that she generated their name on and followed up
Good
on.
job, Carrie.
We'll do it in tomorrow, two closings tomorrow, and that's just recently, since day one, she's been coming and she does a really good job. And a lot better job of follow-up than me too. Like there's some, if you mention to her that you may be interested in buying a home, just consider that you will be contacted on
I
a
love
regular
that.
basis.
I love that.
With Chris,
I know.
she said, I think I might want to move in August, and 4 days later, we found her a house. Closing tomorrow, or Thursday.
Perfect.
That's perfect. Yes.
That's called an accountability partner, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. A person who hates accountability, when she says, have you talked to Mr. Dawson lately? No, I need to. Okay, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Very good. I love that. Good job, Carrie.
What else, guys? Besides the Royals and the weather?
To me in the back.
Anything good? Come on.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Trisha.
My husband and I have been foster family, but we were for 27 foster kids in Kansas City. And we now partnered with an organization called Kansas City Missouri Angels. And they really work to be sure that our foster kids in Kansas City have safe, healthy housing. And yesterday we were a part of a fundraiser that raised a whole lot of money for these kids. And it was just it was a win for us to see us approach our businesses from a different perspective and be able to go out and raise money through our businesses for kids instead of just taking in kids. So we just feel like we were on a high yesterday. It was a golf tournament, so obviously he felt really great about it. But it was just a cool thing to see kids gonna have homes that right now there's 2,000 that don't. So yeah. So anyway,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's outstanding. Good job.
Absolutely.
Hard to beat.
Good stuff. I'm not having a kid, but I'm getting one. I signed up to be a big brothers and big sisters.
Okay.
I finally got an email this morning that now they're gonna start sending me profiles of kids. I have to read through and pick one. It's a weird concept.
They approved you?
Somehow.
That's what I
Super
Right.
desperate for volunteers. I was like, do you?
That's awesome.
I thought the criminal record would be an issue.
Oh my
They'll
gosh.
bypass that. She's like, you can
Yeah.
get speeding tickets. I was like, well, I'll drive slower with the kid. But yeah, so now I'm almost done with that process, and I'm gonna get a kid, I guess. I don't know how that works. It's a little terrifying.
Yeah, they'll take anybody
I'll be a
now.
real estate agent in a few years, so I don't know if we can I don't know how child labor works in real estate.
So we don't know how old the child will be or anything at this
I
point?
have no idea.
Okay.
8 to, I think they do like 7 to 17, so somewhere in that range.
That's exciting. How
All
cool.
right.
How cool. Yeah.
Oh,
So we'll bring some random kid around. It might be
okay.
them. Or somebody else is following me.
Oh, hey, Carrie, you got some good news.
Oh, boy.
This time tomorrow, I will be on a plane to Belize.
Plain to believe.
That's unbelievable.
She's at, and you've had this countdown for about the
Yes.
last 30 days, right?
I think we should check her her cup there and make sure we're not.
I promise it's just coffee.
Okay. I didn't know if you started early.
Yeah.
No, it's not blue.
Very good.
On a little bit different note, yeah, as many of you know, Todd and I's father passed away last week. So lots of great text and emails, and I hope you got a chance to see what I posted on Facebook. His story is really, really cool. Was in our industry for so many years. So we appreciate you guys more than you know. So thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here. Our vendors, and let's start with Lisa. Lisa, our breakfast provider today. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lisa. It was also Lisa's idea to have a happy hour yesterday for Cinco de Mayo, so we did that. Hold on, I got it.
Just a couple things. When you have a buyer, try not to close them towards the end of the day. Try to close them the first part of the day. I talk about this because I know we have new agents, and the reason why is we want enough time to get funding authorization, for the lender to get us money, for us to get it dispersed, recorded, all of that stuff before end of business. Often a seller does not want to give possession until they have money. So that's why that's so important. The other thing is we're looking at a lot of domino files. Domino files are where one person needs funds from their sale to do their purchase, but that goes down the line. So when you have those scenarios, try to make sure not only your buyer is closing first part of the day, but their buyer is closing first part of the day so that we can get funds transferred, because until we get money from the prior file to have money for the purchase transaction, we can't record and disperse. So sometimes that full thought process doesn't happen. So that's the reason why I wanted to point that out. Comcast is updating our internet service tomorrow. Supposedly by the time we get in, everything will be all fine and dandy, but it is Comcast, so most likely it won't be. So it's possible that we are not going to have for our office internet. Our phones are internet based. So if you can't get a hold of us, you can always obviously come into the office. We can help you, that type of thing. But just wanted you to be aware, if we're not responding as quickly as we normally do, that's the reason why. Most importantly, the 2025 assessed county tax values are out. They came out yesterday officially. If you call the county assessor's office will give you what the 25 assessed value is. They'll also be very helpful and give you what an estimate is for the 2025 tax amount. Keep in mind, those are just estimates. because the mill levies for 25 are not out yet. Therefore, the tax amounts are not out yet. We've ran into several situations where not our agents, but other agents have called to the assessor's office and they've got the tax value or they've got the tax amount for 2025. It's an estimate. So we have to do our normal process that the contract states, which is, now that we have 25 assessed values, take 25 assessed value by last year's mill levy. So that gives us an estimated amount to use. So that's the amount that we will use for proration purposes. If you have out there an amendment that states using last year's county tax amount, that still stands. An amendment is an amendment. It overrides whatever the contract is stating. So that's the thing on that. Cheryl?
That's just passed, right? We haven't heard anything from Jackson.
We haven't heard anything from Jackson, but I will be quite frank with you. I did not call Jackson yesterday to find out if theirs have been certified yet. Once they hit the website, that's when they're officially certified. So they go out and they do their assessments, but once the assessments are done, there's a time period that the county can go back and change those. So that's why we have to wait until they actually are published on the website, because that's when they've become certified. That's the amount that they're sticking with as far as assessed value is concerned. Okay? Thank you so much.
Good job, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Another thing, best practices, one of the things Lisa mentioned, another reason to have a buyer in the morning, has anybody ever had a last minute little glitch that came up and all of a sudden it was supposed to close Thursday afternoon and the lender couldn't get it done for whatever reason? Now it's a Friday closing, right? If you have a morning closing, you give yourself a little leeway for those last minute little hiccups, and then often they can just slide to that afternoon. Okay. Again, morning's when we want to close them, right? But at least you give yourself now a little bit of leeway, and you're still closing within the same business day per the contract. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Happens occasionally.
It does. All right. How about Fairway with Todd Branson?
Hi, buddy. So recently we've had two real big VA wins. Okay, so one, we closed a loan where a guy didn't have a job. Now, how that works is he's transferring from one part of the state to another. He has a job with Honeywell coming, and they have a contract with him. And so as long as we can meet the guidelines of the contract and say, hey, you know, my start date's X, my salary is going to be X, we could use that as income, even though he hadn't started. Now, VA does have some unique rules there, but we can actually use that. And we actually closed his loan with him not working there. Okay.
You need to get a VOE from the employer?
Yeah, we had to go back channels with their company and their HR department to just, you know, confirm these things. But VA is pretty cool like that. If the veterans move in, and actually Fannie and Freddie on conventional loans will let us do this similar thing. So if you have a situation, we had to close this, where's Tricia? Oh, she left the room. Her buyer had to close, and he was with another lender, and I was able to nope, I can close it. So we closed it quickly, got it done. Big win for him, you know, future client forever for her. Good job. Another big win. VA will also let you close. We have a veteran that lives in California. Him and his family live in California. They can buy a house here, and they did. And the rules on that are you have to come, your family's got to come, but maybe the veteran, in this case, the veteran stayed in California, okay? There are rules, right? So we have to prove some things, and he has to basically live on base or rent-free. Otherwise, they're going to want to try to count to housing, his rent payment there. But the VA is pretty flexible there too. So we were able to get a family moved here to be closer to their family while the veteran finishes out his two-year commitment in California. So cool concept. You know, and so as long as the family will occupy within 60 days, and they were going to, we could close that. So those are just things that over my career I've done in the past, and I knew that those existed. So we were able to facilitate that, get him approved, get him here to Kansas City, and get his family in there. So any questions? Pretty cool gig. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see pillar to post unless I'm not seeing them. How about JW with Royal Roofing?
Here. Yeah. Hey, Jim.
I'm not as exciting as Lisa and Todd. Nothing new in the roofing. Everything's the same. Nothing's changed. No price hacks yet because of the tariffs. I don't see it happening. They say it's going to. That's about it. That's all I got.
Can I ask a question?
It's simple.
Can we
Yes.
ask a quick question? If you're out quoting a roof, there's different grades of shingle. What's the price differential from, say, a basic shingle on a house to the ones that have an impact resistance rating where we get a little break on our insurance?
The way I describe it is better, best, or how's it go? Good, better, best.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
Gotcha.
That's how I subscribe. Ours is better.
Okay.
Best, you can go to the 50-year class 4 impact resistant shingle.
Right.
Good, we don't install those.
Okay.
That's like your GAFs, some of your Timberlines, just stuff you buy at Home Depot and Lowe's.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why we do all class 3 impact resistant shingles and up.
And is class 3 where the insurance break comes
Yes,
in? Oh, no,
yes.
that's not here.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I assumed.
Yep.
Okay. Good
And
to know.
usually most insurance companies somewhere between 5 and 20% discount for the year,
Yeah.
up to 5 years. You only get it for 5 years. So
Okay.
once you get the roof installed, it's 5 years, and after 5 years, they go away.
I
Does the
see.
impact resistance degrade over time?
No, it doesn't degrade. It's just,
Insurance.
exactly. So,
Yeah,
Question answered.
yes, I could go into that, but I'm not going to.
good stuff. Yeah.
So,
Thanks,
all
Jim.
right, thank you.
So you guys remember that if we're in a transaction and we're negotiating a roof, we want that quality of roof to be at least that impact level resistance level 3. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
And we'll have a certificate, install date, manufacture date of the shingle, all that stuff for them. They hand it to their insurance company.
Yeah, and don't make any guarantees. Let them reach out to their insurance company, okay? Everybody has different insurance and all that kind of stuff, but that should be, when we're talking about concessions for a roof, installing a roof, that should be the standard, in my opinion, that we're dealing with, not something that's $500 less.
There's some local insurance companies, like this your Missouri-based insurance companies, that don't offer a discount.
Okay, there we go.
They call and check
Yeah,
before they go, before they plan on getting that discount, then they don't get it.
there you go.
They'll come back to me and shoot me.
Something like, yeah, exactly. Something like, hey, what we're seeing is that with this quality of roof, it is common to see insurance companies offering some sort of discount. You might want to check in with them to see if that's applicable. So don't promise anything. Let them do all the research.
Very good. Okay. Next one. All right, here's our calendar coming up. I'm going to go over a lot of this in a minute. We got to watch our time. All right, we'll do this one quick. How about that? Listings, buyers, and open houses. Who's got a listing coming on the market you want to tell us about? Yes.
It's in
Yes.
Stonegate, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, 2,800 plus square feet, just over a quarter acre. It's got a gym in the basement,
Floor plan? Yes.
split level. Yes, it has a floor plan.
Okay.
It's 2-story. It's going on at $399,900.
Okay.
Sounds like you know a lot about that house.
I know a ton about the house because I live there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
My wife got a job in Minneapolis, so we're going to be moving soon.
Oh, okay.
I know. He didn't get that.
That was a good news, bad news, wasn't it? Yeah.
When's that one going on the market?
I want to get it on Thursday.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Very good. Silas, what you got?
It'll be in Fremont last Friday. It's in Holden on 10 acres. Almost 1,700 square foot ranch. It was built last year, 3-bed, 2-bath. It's on a slab, so pretty straightforward. But that'll be at 410.
410 and Holden.
Where,
Okay.
it's in Holden?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
10 acres. Okay.
Cool.
Don't forget to take your award home.
Yeah, I finally found it. I've been wanting.
It's been floating around for a little bit. Okay, good deal. Nanette, you got something?
We have a listing that's in Hillier, Satter's Point. It's been on for a week, a little over a week. No contracts yet, so I need Southland to sell it. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, split level. It's got all new finishes in it. They're only 2 years old, and a 2-car garage in Satter's Point
Okay.
for $325.
325. Okay. Yeah, Mickey, what you got?
It's outside of kind of Grandview, Martin City area, Kansas City. It's an acre and a half, 3 bedrooms, 2-bath. Has an above ground pool with a deck all the way around there. It'll be probably next week. It'll be 310.
Okay,
Nice.
310. Joanna?
I still have my Morning View little house, 519 Galaxy, very nice. Of course, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. It's got a brand new roof and all new carpet, and it's very nice. It looks like move-in ready, so. And it's, $269.9. So bring me a buyer.
Okay, good deal. Shelby?
Mary Austin has a really nice house off 616 Laredo Court in Raymore, 3 bed, 3 bath. Please bring us a buyer. So her client is buying my listing in particular. So
Nice.
let's make it happen.
There you go.
Right next to the flip we did 2 summers ago. It's the house right next door. Oh my gosh,
Hmm.
Massachusetts.
Okay, did I see another hand?
Yeah, you
Yep.
saw me.
Yep.
Raintree Lake, Lee Summit School District, story and a half, all new paint inside, carpet, new carpet after that, new exterior paint, and all the wood rot will be fixed. Pool should be open by Friday. We are in the pre-MLS, going live 5/22.
Okay, good deal. Lonnie, do you have anything, any listings you want to mention?
We're going pre-MLS, a duplex in Grandview. Duplex is kind of hard to come by. Rents about $825 a side, $195 will be the list. But if somebody wanted an investment property that's pretty simple, it's a ranch units, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, right there off Main Street, so pretty
Both
easy.
of them together are 195.
Yeah, yep.
All right. Okay, how about buyer needs? Who's got some buyer needs we need to know about?
I've got a young buyer that's just under 200. It could be Belton, Raymore, it could be Grandview, Independence, and we're just having a hard time. She wants a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and it's like under 200. It's a little hard, but she is willing to do Raytown and Independence, but she's looking for something that doesn't get a lot of work because she's just a young girl. So,
Okay,
got anything coming up?
all right. Silas?
A 3-bed, 2-bath ranch in Pleasant Hill. Anywhere, but it has to be in the town of Pleasant Hill. It's an older couple, cash buyers, but someone should like list one before I sell it in my house because I'm so close to my wife. She's not quite down for that.
You just bought it.
What?
You just bought your house, right?
No, I know, but I'm not selling to them, so.
No wonder she's not on board.
Up to 400.
Help his wife find his buyer a house. All right, any other buyer needs we need to know about? Anything else? All right, open houses? Anybody want to mention anything there? I know it's Tuesday, maybe. Okay, all right. Y'all need to wake up.
Is Mother's Day a good weekend to have an open house?
Could be, depending on the house. What do you guys think? Open house on Mother's Day? I've done them before. I've done them before.
Everybody's doing things with their mom.
But you think, but
My mom likes to tour houses.
go to brunch and look at houses. It depends if they want a house. I don't know. I've had good luck on Mother's Day, Memorial Day, like all those weekends. I don't know. Just hit and miss, really.
I've done them, but I do them a little bit later in the day because often I can go out to lunch.
Yep.
Serve mimosas.
Mimosas with mom. What's that?
Maybe they're in town and they're gonna move here.
There you go. You never know. So that is a good segue. Mother's Day is on Sunday. So I saw a lender put something out and said, hey, don't forget, Mother's Day is Sunday. So husbands, make sure your wife gets all her chores done before then so she can rest.
Ooh.
Oh my
Did
God.
you see that? Yeah. So I thought that was not funny. Because it's right? All right, let's see. What else we got here? We have education committees. Our ALC, we highlight a committee each time. And this time, let's hear from the education committee, which
Give
is
it up for Tom.
So Carrie and Laura do most of the work on this. We're putting things together, but
We made that assumption. by the way.
good. Yeah. So anyway, here's what we got coming up on Monday the 12th. Command websites with Caesar, right? You want to get your command website going. That will be a great class for you. The 19th, we got dot loop templates with Hannah. So brush up on your skills on that. And then we have a money moves for real estate pros with Jake Keith on the 14th. If anybody here, if you have something that like, hey man, this would be a great education event, I'd really like to learn more about this, please bring those to us. You don't have to necessarily go out and do the footwork and set it up. just bring that idea to us and we'll pursue that. And, you know, personally, I'd love to get somebody in here that knows foundations and has a great slide and can go through that and kind of speak to what that sounds like. So when I'm out there in a basement and I see a few braces or I see a wall leaning in like this, you know, maybe I can be more intelligent about it and give better direction. Just an example of why this, how this has benefited me. I've been to 2 of Russell and Jay's septic classes. I went on a listing appointment earlier last week where there was a septic, right? I was able to speak at a higher level than the homeowner was about it, right? Because I didn't know much. And it's probably will land me that listing even though I'm 3% and the guy that interviewed before me was 2.5. But I think that when we can go out and instill confidence in our clients that we know what we're talking about, I'm able to look at the roof and kind of say, hey, that's going to be questionable in this transaction, and we're able to be proactive. The other agent at 2.5% never talked about septic and never talked about the roof, right? So these are things that the advantage that we need to use. We try to provide as many education opportunities as possible. I know in the future we got David Gress, the economic developer for Raymore, coming in. He'll have great slides that he's going to show us where all the new developments are planned and all of that kind of stuff. We got Jeff Fletcher coming in from Cass County. He's our new Cass County North Commissioner, so he can, you know, fill us in on all that. So when we know this stuff, and even if we're having conversations, not on a listing appointment, but I'm sitting around at the local networking thing and I can talk about, hey, this is what's going on in the county. Hey, this is what's going on in Raymore. Just makes us a more desirable real estate agent, in my opinion. Thank you.
Good job, Tom.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yes, and thank you to Carrie and Laura on that committee too, and really working hard to coordinate. It's a lot of coordinating. So appreciate, it's more than you might think. So we appreciate that. By the way, these calendars, this one is not online yet, but I just realized it's not on Facebook. It will be there shortly. And I do have paper copies if you want like a hard copy to put on your fridge or in wherever you put it. We do have those in the workroom area over there too. So they're always there. Yes.
How do you get to that new training that we have?
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you in just a minute.
Okay.
Hang tight. All right. Red Day. Stephanie Finn. You got this, Steph. This is Red Day Culture Committee. Here you go. Tell us what's up.
Well, it's this week. That's what's up.
Yes.
No. No, thank you everybody who RSVP'd. By end of business today, you will get a text or an instant message from me on Facebook with all the details. But the short version is we're going to meet here if you can at 9. Take a picture and then we'll head up. If you can't, in your text message, because we have 3 separate houses that we're going to, so I'm going to group you at 3 different places. So in your text message, it'll be specifically which house you're going to and who the lead is at that house. So I will be a lead at one house, Mickey will be a lead at another house, and Francesca will be a lead at the 3rd house. We're catering one of the meals, and then Francesca is leading a real meal at one of the houses. She's making chicken Alfredo, garlic bread, salad, cheesecake. Yeah. And then we're catering Texas Roadhouse for one of the others. We have a client that's partnering with us on that. So anyway, you'll get that text from me. If you RSVP'd and you don't get something from me today, please let me know. We have like 23 right now. So we have room for a few more. If you decided that your week allows you to volunteer, just shoot me a message or stop by my office after team meeting.
So will we meet here first?
Yes, here at 9, if you can. Some schedules may not allow, and then we'll take a picture and then we'll disperse. Okay?
That's right. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph.
Okay. Good deal. Who's signed up to do that? Who's coming for Red Day? Awesome. You got a red shirt?
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to bring shirts today, but I have them, but they're at my house. So if you order a shirt, they're in, I have them.
Head on over to Stephanie's house. I'm just kidding. Just stop on by.
A little short lady out there gardening, but no.
All right, very good. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. All right. Yeah, the Finance Committee, Jake Keith is teaching a class next Wednesday, Money Moves for Real Estate Pros on budgeting, the basis of investing. So it's going to be a series of classes. So check that out next week. Monday, has everybody got a all-star killer website going? You got your command website is popping, right? If it's not, you can come Monday. Caesar's teaching on how to get that set up. I know there's been a lot of changes if you've been with Keller for a little bit. They've changed it multiple times, and so you might want to check it out. If you haven't been by your website, go look at it. See what it looks like. It's probably the default right now. I had mine all customized at one point. They did some changes. It's back to default. So it's been a while and I haven't gone back. So I might be in the class, or I'll just have him do it. That's better. That's what we'll probably do. Leverage. There we go. He probably won't do yours, but he'll do mine. But that is Monday at 10 a.m. Wealth Building Group is happening Wednesday, May 21st. I think maybe there was a little bit of misunderstanding on this because we had some people show up last Wednesday for it's only once a month, and it's the third Wednesday of the month. So May 21st, 3 p.m. Sorry, I should put that on there. 3 p.m.
And the primary focus is going to be, we're going to have a little panel, and we're going to talk about how we find these properties. What are the sources to find properties for ourselves, for our clients, that sort of thing. So we'll talk about the REO market, the foreclosure market, the short sale market. We'll kind of go down a bunch of little paths there to kind of hit on some different things. Obviously there's stuff in the MLS, but that's kind of hard to find value. So how is Devon, how are Nate, how are Jake, how are they finding these properties? We're going to go into that in quite a bit of detail.
I love that. 3 p.m. Wednesday the 21st. The thing I have for us is this agent kickstart. And this is what Joanna was just asking about. And I don't know if you've been in there. I'm going to take just a quick minute to show you what's in here, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lonnie. Let's see. All right. So once you log in, and I can tell who's logged in and who hasn't. So I'm hoping if I don't see your name on my sheet that I see your name on my sheet soon, because we as an office, our office we pay monthly a subscription for this. We invest in this because it's a great tool for our agents, not just new agents, all of our agents. Notice it's not called New Agent Kickstart, it's just Agent Kickstart, because there's so much in here that all of us can really benefit from, if nothing else. Now, I hope you get in here. I hope you watch the videos. They're super short. You can see there's different videos here, and I've gone over this before. But there's different modules on different topics. There's database, there's buyers, sellers, there's transaction management, and lead generation. So if you could use help with, unless you've just mastered every single one of those, there's probably something in here that you could benefit from. But one of the things I wanted to highlight again was down at the bottom, this downloads for all the modules. If you click that, it opens up. She has so many downloads. This is Tina Bernine. She runs the Tina team. She's been an agent for 24 years, I think she said. She's out of the Overland Park office, and so she knows Keller Williams. She knows our way, and she does things at a really high level. And in these downloads, over here on the side, she downloads all kinds of stuff, and there's stuff her team uses. And so what I was looking at, I saw her seller marketing brochure. When you download this, you can open it up. It's her marketing brochure. Now it's going to say the Tina team, but you can see what she's giving out to her people. Have you ever wondered, like, if I could just see what Lonnie gives his people, or what, I want to know what other people give when they go on listing appointments. There's one right here, and she does this at a high level. What makes her different? Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Maybe there's something there that you want to incorporate into yours. And so this is, just one idea. Check it out. See what she gives you there. Another thing that I liked here, towards the bottom, if you see like where it says lender, it'll say buyer, buyer's agent. These are things. Have you ever worked with somebody? I've worked with a couple different lenders that give you those little benchmark videos that as the buyer progresses, or the file progresses, you get a little blurb or an email or something super helpful. These are here too. She's got those, so you can work with your buyer or with your seller, and it's an email or however you choose to rework it. Of course, you're going to rework it because it says the Tina team on it, but they're done. You just copy, paste, throw your logo or your name on it, and send it out. It's the benchmarks. It's already done for you. Make it your own, and Send it out. You can, if you want, to track with your buyers, track with your sellers. Get that system in place. Is anybody doing that at a high level? You've got something, every time a new benchmark happens in the transaction, you're sending something to your people. Anybody got that?
I've got videos that I send just because I was saying the same thing every time, and then
Yeah.
you leave out something.
Yeah.
So I've got videos that I text, especially the first time buyers. You're
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
contract, now what? That's typically when I attach the links. For
Very good.
Home inspection or whatever, but yeah, I have little videos that I just have saved in a folder on my phone.
Well, the reason, I'm glad you do. And the reason I wanted to highlight this, because I would imagine most of us don't have this. But if you're like me, I don't have this, but I've always wanted to have this. But I've never sat down long enough to think it through and create my own. Well, it's created. All I would have to do is go in and tweak it a little bit, and it's done. Minimal work, minimal effort. It's in here, guys. We pay for this. And that's just one example. I can go on. Maybe every week I'll kind of highlight one little thing out of this program that we pay for.
Or maybe we print something.
Maybe
and
we
just
do.
say, like that flow chain that showed the flow of a transaction.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be good to have in all buyer and seller packets? Even if you don't go over it with them, they can look at it, that sort of
Absolutely.
thing, right?
Absolutely. So no need to recreate the wheel. No need to go without. It's all been done.
So where is this? Where is
Oh,
this?
so it is
On our Facebook page?
it's in the Facebook page multiple times. You would just search up Agent Kickstart. I will go in and maybe bump one of the, I've got all the directions in there to how to log into it. I'll go bump the post and bring it back up to the top. I can pin it to the top. I can do that. Absolutely.
Because I looked for it and I didn't know where it might be. Should be able to search your
Yeah. And you know what?
Is there any way we could put it on our flow page?
It might already be there.
I think it is out there.
But I think it's there. If it's not, yes, we can add it. And I just realized I've skipped Darren, but do you want to do your part first?
No, go ahead,
Okay.
Darren.
Darren, I'm so sorry. We do.
Yeah.
So sorry. I just realized I saw your slide was there and it was grayed out.
All right, Darren.
Darren!
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Tim. Oh,
Where's the little buddy?
he's right here. There you go.
So I just thought I'd read the real estate contract real quick, 16 pages.
We'll have you out of here by noon.
Yeah, got breakfast, lunch. No, a couple of things. So I get phone calls occasionally. It's not always just new agents. It could be anybody that says, I just got a contract on my listing. And when you guys have a question, I need to know if you mean you have an offer on your listing or you have a contract. Contract means it's signed by all parties and it's binding. An offer can be counteroffered and can be changed. So you can save us both a little time if you learn the difference between the word offer and contract. Just, I don't know, maybe a pet peeve. Maybe that's what that is.
We went over that yesterday in our coaching group. It's important.
Good timing.
Yeah. All contracts start as an offer.
Exactly. But until it's a contract, it's not binding. And your question means different things if you're asking me about an offer versus a contract. We've had a couple of cases come up, and it always does, several times a year. You may have a listing that the buyer cancels due to inspections. You may have a buyer that wants to buy a listing that was canceled, and they're back on the market. So sometimes you'll call the listing agent and say, I see you're back on the market. Can you send me that inspection? Sometimes they will. Sometimes they'll fumble around and say, no, I don't have it. Sometimes they'll say, all I have is this summary sheet, whatever. Whatever they'll share with you is great. We can't make them share. If they don't want to share, that's their problem. If they feel like they don't want to share an inspection and withhold information from you as the buyer's agent. If you're the listing agent, two things I would like to say. Section 15 on the disclosure asks if there's been previous inspection reports in the last 12 months. Then it says, if yes, a copy of inspection reports are available upon request. Let's just put them on the MLS. Let's not be that company that makes the buyer's agent ask us. If something goes wrong down the road, I don't want to have to answer to an attorney, why didn't you give them the inspection report? That's withholding stuff to me. So let's put it on the MLS. If they don't click it, great, but that's their problem. We can show where we had it available to any future buyers. We might as well share that stuff. I can come up with one more, hang on. I forget to do this, and I'm sure some of you do also. When you have, during the process of a contract, we need to, through dotloop or through email, share the forms back with the seller once the buyer signed it, or once the seller signed your offer, share it back to the buyer. I had a client the other day ask me, he said, can you email me that contract? Because I don't have it here. He should have had it there. I dropped the ball and didn't send it. So I think it's important for all of our forms to be available you can share them in dotloop, you can email them as a PDF, whatever, print them out and staple them and take them. But our clients need to have all the pertinent paperwork for their stuff. That's it.
Good job, Darren.
All right, your turn, Mr. Long. Oh, got questions.
As a lender, if you guys check 5 or 6 boxes on the contract that says like, seller disclosure, all the little things, this, addendum, franchise, the lender needs all that. So if you only check 2 boxes, we only care about 2 things. If you check 6, I need all 6. So sometimes that gets easy to get missed at the beginning of a transaction. You just send the base contract or whatever, 16-pager, and that's all we're running with that. But at some point in time, I'm gonna call you or my officer's gonna reach out and go, can you send me the other one? It's really easy to miss, I know, but if you've got 10 boxes checked or 3 boxes checked, then you're gonna want what's checked. Yeah, because they're part of the contract. Yeah.
Fair enough. Did somebody else have a question? Thought I saw another hand. Nope. Okay, real quick, Agent Kickstart, let's go back to that. We had this massive push of people signing up. We're not even close to our goal, and we need to hit our goal this month, no exceptions.
Yep.
Raise your hand if you've yet to sign in to Agent Kickstart. Be honest, guys, be honest. Oh gosh, that's more than I thought.
I'm gonna pin it right now. You carry on, I'm gonna get it up there.
Raise your hand again. We're gonna write your name down.
I'll take a picture.
This is called accountability. You're gonna see how effective this is, right? Tom?
I did. I signed in. I haven't done it.
We better check both O'Connors, right? Carrie, holler out your name so I don't have to look back.
Tony.
That was
Sounds
good.
like middle school in here.
Dave? Keep going. Who else?
Tim.
Slacker. By the way, I was the first one. Who else? Chad?
John.
Which John?
Ryan. Probably both of them.
Who else?
Doesn't feel so bad now that Ryan's name got gone.
Spelling doesn't count, right? Caitlin? Mickey? Slackers. Who else? Shoot your names out.
Silas, James.
Who else? Who else is not signed up and they're not on here? Jesse. Jesse's got some baby stuff, so that's all right. We'll give her a little room. Who else? Come on. 5? By the way, we're going to go check all this. Who else? How many people is that, Randy? Roughly 1, 2, 3, 6, 12. Okay, 16? 16 people? It's probably a few more than that if I had my guess. All right, can we do this? 1 week from today, this will still be here. Don't let them erase it. Will you 16 people, myself included, be signed up to Agent Kickstart?
Yes.
How long does it take approximately to log in and do your thing?
Like no time. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, maybe a little less. Okay, can we get 2 minutes? Okay, guys, there's a method to our madness.
Yep.
If you did not, Brandy didn't have time to go through, we could do a whole class
Oh, I could
just
do it,
on that.
yes.
This is a rip off and duplicate business. The stuff Tina has on there, the things you've been asking for, they're all embedded in there. Take a peek at that. That flow of what's a transaction look like? How effective would that be to be part of your buyer consultation? Even if you kind of just work through it slowly, maybe you don't even talk about it, but when they look at your stuff later, when you go in a listing presentation and they're trying to figure out whether they want to go with Tom at 3 or Jenny at 2.5, and Jenny just did what Jenny does, and Tom not only presented well, but it looks professional. He's got stuff she didn't even talk about in his presentation book to leave with the people. They're going to see the difference. They're going to hear it because you're better, but then they're going to see the difference on why this guy earns this and this person earns this. You guys get that? If we've got to start figuring out more and more ways to support our value, guys, or our industry is going to be a race to the bottom. I mean, we've all lost listings to somebody willing to work cheaper, right? It happens all the time. We better get better at not only being able to convey that verbally, but let's give them something to touch and feel a little bit too, okay? The tools that are in there are absolutely amazing. I'm really mad that we didn't do this 5 years ago.
I know.
I mean, it just kind of makes me think, wow, we would be so far ahead of the game right now. Yes.
So back when you were showing like the templates and things, not templates, the PDFs that are available,
Yep.
and things like that, does she really mean that we can use those? Like we can literally rip them off?
Yes, that's why she puts them in there.
So it didn't look like they were Canva links, but as PDFs, would it be helpful if we went over something on like how to use that information?
How to convert it.
To convert it, bring them in and make them your own?
Yeah, we can figure something like that out.
If we really can't use it, because that's where my mind is, I'm like, how can I use this without being plagiarism if that's not
Yeah.
okay?
The main thing is go through there and earmark what, oh man, I want this. Okay, not so much, oh, definitely want that, right? I would doubt if anybody really feels like their presentation stuff is a 10 out of 10, okay? This will get you there if you choose to do it, okay? Or if you don't, expect to work for less money and get hired less frequently. It's a decision. And on the buyer side, guys, we're out there wanting to get 3% in many cases for these buyers. I guarantee you there's agents out there cutting deals like crazy. Show your value proposition over and over, Judge.
A minute and 10 seconds
Mi-
to register.
Right, and he went to Belton, and we went to Belton, right? So for you guys,
I went to Ruskin and I haven't.
Ruskin guy took 3 minutes, okay? So that worked. So it's, if you guys aren't in there, a lot of our conversations going forward, you're not gonna know what we're talking about. You see how important it is? Okay, it's really, really important. And then our dual career people that can't be at all the things that you guys are at, this gives them the ability to get a lot of the education and things that we're gonna be talking about. So it's really important for that group. I mean, so we'll help them. But what I realized when we first got involved in this at first I thought it was just kind of dual career and all that. No, this is for our current agents.
Yep.
Really, really important pivot that we just kind of had to feel out a little bit. So.
I like it because it helps me spot the gaps and it helps me fill the gaps.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
in my systems right now.
And she has a different way of doing things for her team, and that may not be how you want to run your business. That's totally cool. But look and see what other people do and what they say and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
It's the lead gen part of it. I know you guys are scared of the words lead gen, but it's really, really intense on how to create the database. A lot of the topics are similar to what we've talked about, but she kind of has a different spin on it. It's good to hear somebody else's take on these things that's been doing it 24 years. Actually,
Absolutely.
Tina and I got in the business the same year, as it turns out.
so.
Yeah, really, really cool. Okay, best practice. When you list a house, if it has a subdivision, how about going ahead and ordering preliminary title work? You should do it every single time. Trust me, the big boogers that come up, you'll know about them. Okay, so when you're in pre-MLS, boom, go ahead and order preliminary title work. Kofelt Lisa, they love getting that done ahead of time because if there is something, it gives them more time to fix it and work on your behalf. If it's in a subdivision that has restrictions, we want the covenants and restrictions badly for that. And then you want to attach that with the seller's disclosure in the MLS for people. Saves you all those phone calls. Now, there was a time I knew pretty much the guidelines for Eagle Glen, Stonegate, all the way up and down the quarter. And over time, I just forgot, honestly. So how many times on a Saturday or Sunday does somebody call and go, hey, can you have a privacy fence in Eagle Glen? And I'm sitting there going, I lived there for 11 years. Now, honestly, I can't remember. So what do? I drive down the street and see if anybody got one. You see? Not the best way to do it. Can they do chain link? Can they do 6 foot versus 4 foot? Okay, guys, I can just go on and on with the questions that you get pelted with, where you can just make your life so much easier and put that out there. And if they do call and say, oh, have you had a chance to pull up the covenants and restrictions? And usually they didn't. And say, go take a peek at that, and then if you have any questions, circle back, okay? But there's just all kinds of things along fencing I mentioned. Oh, outbuildings. Can you have a shed in that subdivision? Okay, that comes up all the time. Can I have an outbuilding? Can I have a shed? Can I do these different things? Above ground pools. Okay, those are the things that are all embedded in those kind of things. And each subdivision has a little bit different take on all these things. We've had a lot of people working in the 55 and older type communities. And each one of those is a little different. And what do they provide services? Is it maintenance provided? Is it 55 and older? Is it 50 and older? There's one that's 50 and older. Did you know that? Pickering? Anybody know what Pickering is? It's 50 and older, not 55. Kind of odd, right? So we need to know that if they're going into these subdivisions, okay, yeah, they mow the yard, but do they treat it? Do they do all the annual servicing of the yard, whatever that's called, because I don't do it, but that kind of stuff. Do they provide those things? Again, get this information ahead of time if you want to play at a little bit higher level and make your life a lot easier. And by the way, when agents see that that's how you operate, you kind of look a little more professional than others, okay? Does anybody do that kind of stuff on a regular basis? Yeah, Tony, it's the way to do things. Okay, so I got to complain a little. By the way, you guys crushed it.
Yeah.
We had the highest gross commission income April in the history of the Market Center.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. And we were like $500 off from the most broker dollar, which is what creates our real profit. $500 off from the most ever. And I think one of our closings got kicked. It looked like it was going to close, and it pushed to the next month. Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So excited about that. Right now, if you listen to the kind of news that's out there, it's not real chummy on our industry right now. People are actually, some of these markets, Las Vegas, Scottsdale, Arizona, Phoenix area, some of these markets are starting to get a little bit of inventory, okay? Not an abundance of inventory, but inventory, okay? Those are the markets that usually are precursors to what's going to happen in the rest of the country. So our news here, we may start to get a little bit of negative Nelly stuff out there. When the news doesn't know what to put out there, they're usually going to put something negative out there, just FYI. So when they go, inventories are up 25% versus this time last year, and up 35% from 2 years ago. If that sounds alarming, unless you understand what those numbers mean. They're comparing them to some of the historically low numbers in the history of our industry. You guys get that? So look at it in a longer time horizon, but those are the kind of things that are bullet points that catch people's eye. So the news is going to throw that out there. They're going to interview Jenny at Century 21 on the news, and she's going to go, yes, inventory is up. It's up 25% versus a year ago. Okay, is that a bad thing? We've been begging for inventory, guys. You guys are like, I got buyers, we just no houses, right? And now we're starting to get a little bit of inventory. Still very low historically, you'll see if you look at a historical chart, but based on the last 2 or 3 years, it's going to seem like there's higher inventory. Anybody notice that or hear anything? Did I make it up? Yeah, maybe I made it up. Guys, think about this news that you're going to hear, and you get to decide, first of all, understand it. We'll talk about it collectively, and then share it with people at a high level, okay? Because there'll be other people doing the exact opposite. They'll kind of, the sky is falling, and all, oh my gosh. And just like when the average days to sell a house got so ridiculous, it was down, I think, under 20 days. It got crazy, and now it's in the 40s, right? 40-something days on average. Is that bad? I mean, we would have given our right arm for that for a decade to have the average house sell in 45 days. So it's all relevant to where you've been most recently. Rates are stuck here. Todd not getting it done for us. Todd, what's the 30-year right now? Upper sixes, okay? That sucks. Hey, but every month we're here, it's closer to the new reality, okay? Buyers, I doubt if there's many buyers sitting on the sidelines waiting for 5% money, because they may have done that for a little while, and then finally they're like, time out, man. I'm not signing another lease. I got to get a house. I need a home, right? And at some point, the sellers that are handcuffed with their 2.5%, 3% mortgages will say, okay, I can't do these steps anymore. Or I do want the acreage that I always want. I do want to scale down. I need more bedrooms for the kids, the expanding family. They'll eventually just say, this is what it is, right? It just is what it is. So every month we're at these levels, even though I like to make fun of Todd, the reality is it becomes the new norm, okay? And at some point, especially if they jack this up and we go into any recession, there's a good probability then we see a quick boom, boom, boom in rates going down. And then all of a sudden we could have a 5 handle, and then it's Katie bar the door. Because then everybody's, and that inventory, whatever it was, goes just like that immediately. And everything's multiple offers and all that kind of stuff. Any thoughts on that? Do you guys listen to the news on our industry very much? Yeah. Just know that real estate is a local market, okay? So when they got the real estate agent in Vegas saying their inventories are up 60%, that's Las Vegas. Does it really affect us? Not so much. It is worth watching because it is a leading indicator market. Phoenix up, these kind of areas. But Kansas City, right now, we're slightly higher in inventories, but extremely good and healthy levels.
Do you know what the months of inventory is out there on the West Coast now? And it's bumping up. Did they give you a number on that specifically?
Probably, and I'm not sure I paid that close of attention.
Because right now, we're like sitting right around a month with inventory right now.
Yeah.
Maybe a month and a half of inventory.
Yeah.
What's a perfect inventory level for a market?
Yeah, 3 months. 3 to 4 was always what, yeah. Yeah.
Great. So we're looking for all these houses to sell, can't find them, or when we get them on the market, they sell immediately, which is really fun and all because the money's fun, but we lose all that marketing time and the ability to select other buyers and build our businesses. So I would rather see 3
Yeah.
months of inventory. It'd be great out there.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll hold your listings for a while and actually capitalize and get buyers on it.
And what Brian's talking about is, let's just say there were 1,000 houses on the market, okay, stop 1,000, and let's say 500 houses sell a month. Nothing new comes on. Essentially, we have 2 months of inventory. You guys get that? 500 times 2, 1,000 for your math majors. That's 2 months of inventory. And that number has been really, really low. Now, in reality, we know it doesn't quite work that way. Some houses sell real quick, some sit on the market, and we're constantly replenishing the shelf. But that's what we talk about when we talk about houses available as far as total inventory. So, okay, weird stuff. I seldom will talk negatively about a company, but I've had a really weird experience twice. There's a company out there called First Class Realty. Do you know anything about them? Small?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, good. And I'm sure I just caught two bad apples, but the reality is this. Here's the difference in being trained and not being trained. First experience with an agent from that company, they were looking at one of my houses in Raymore. The agent was from Wyandotte County, Kansas, okay? Yet they were the foremost expert on Raymore, Missouri and acreages in Raymore, Missouri, which was really interesting. They didn't look me up, didn't know I'd been doing this since, water was invented, but I learned a lot. I just listened, and then I look back and they got in the business 9 months ago in Wyandotte County. Yet they're the foremost expert in Raymore. And the guy sent me the data and the comps and all that kind of stuff. And it was just completely off. Of course, we sold that house almost immediately thereafter. And so I let it go. I'm like, God, that's just an odd duck. Boom, this weekend, here's what happens. I list a nice acreage in Harrisonville for $685. Agent comes, first of all, they called me. We encourage that, right? Called me and go, hey, tell me about the listing. Do you have any offers? All that kind of stuff. Had a real high-level conversation. And the gentleman goes, hey, I have a contingency. Is that something you would consider? And my answer to him was, I'm never an automatic yes or no when it comes to contingency. I'll need more information. In other words, where's their house? Is it under contract, not under contract, right? Soft contingency, firm contingency, right? We talk about that all the time. Those are some important details. Wouldn't you guys agree? Mm-hmm. Okay. Answer to me was, they live out of state, and it turns out their house, and he goes, and their house is under contract. Okay, now all of a sudden my ears perk up. This is a guy I want to talk to, right? So they were going back for a second look and all those sorts of things. And sure enough, after looking at it twice, they come in and structure an offer, which was great. And they came in $30,000 low plus $5,000 in closing costs. Okay, how'd they think that was going to get accepted? By the way, my house been on the market 8 days at that point, right? And then I just so happened to insist upon a copy of the contract on the contingency, okay? And I think in the contingency addendum, it says contract here attached or some crap like that, right? So, and of course, that didn't show up, okay? So I thought, okay, it's probably an honest mistake, right? Not so much. So he goes, well, let me check my admin, maybe I forgot to send that. Okay, so here comes the contract, sweet. That house that's in South Carolina, it's under contract. It's under contract on a contingency from people that have their house on the market and have for 60 days that is not under contract. So there's nothing firm about the deal that he proposed to me, but they conveniently, initially didn't give me the contract, okay? Then when they did give me the contract, they forgot the contingency addendum. Another just honest mistake. Bull poo, right? That's not how this thing works. So the fact I kept asking for more information, the guy got a little frustrated. I go, I bet you got frustrated because you just got exposed. You were not being forthright. So immediately I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel right. low offer. Oh, by the way, guess what the earnest money was on nearly a $700,000 house?
$1,000.
$2,000, which, $2,000's not awful, but so when I told him, I go, hey, just so you know, we kind of coached, earnest money being a little stronger than that. So do expect that if we make a counter offer, just beside himself on why that even matters. Well, it doesn't matter. The seller can't get that anyway. I'm like, okay, we actually believe it does matter. It's kind of the glue that keeps some deals together and that sort of thing. And I said, I've got 127 partners in our Raymore office, and these are the kind of tactics that we discuss all the time and all that sort of thing. He goes, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. And he goes, and I train people too. And I won't go into the guy's name or any of that stuff, but I was just like, well, good for you. Did you train him to not be forthright and not give a copy of the contract and the relevant documents and negotiations? So anyway, I just shared this with my seller. I go, hey, I want you to know where I stand on this. I'm not sure these people were 100% honest, or their agent wasn't. They could be the greatest people ever, but the agent's who I'm dealing with, right? The representative for these people. And they're out of state now. They're back on the East Coast. So my seller just said, Lonnie, based on what you're telling me, we don't want this contingency at any price. And I go, that's how I feel. Is that how you feel? Yes. And I said, let's do this. Let's counter back to them, removing the contingency, okay? I found out indirectly they actually have the ability to buy without selling that house in South Carolina. And if they're so confident it's going to sell, why wouldn't they just agree to perform on our deal? You guys get that? So we went back. We came down a little bit on the price, not very much, and countered back and said, hey, once we did the research on this contingency wasn't all that was described to me, and my seller would be a fool to go into something that we know is at least 3 deals deep. By the way, what if that front-end deal now accepts a contingency, right? And this thing could go 4 levels, 5 levels deep, and we wouldn't even know because it's on the East Coast, right? But what was presented to me is my seller's house is under contract. Is it? Is it? Not really. So we countered back and said, hey, here's our terms, blah, 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 blah. 5,000 earnest, okay? Normal inspection period, just kind of business, gave them a little bit off the price, and we removed the contingency. And here's the answer that I got. Nothing. Okay, we gave them more than 24 hours to respond. The agent on Saturday didn't get back to me. Sunday didn't get back to me. And then Monday sent me a really scathing, rude email. Okay, so probably not, and I chose not to respond yesterday because I was golfing. But the guys, there's some weird stuff going on out there, some people, and I don't know if these people are always, I don't know if they're always being dishonest or they just don't know better. But the reality is we've got to ask the right questions. We got to look under every rock. That would have been such an easy mistake for me to miss, especially if I was busy and frustrated. Todd and I have a few things going on in our life right now. It would have been easy to miss the fact that, wow, the guy said it's under contract, here's the contract. Maybe I didn't take the time to read it. I did take the time to read it. And I realized there was an addendum missing called the contingency addendum. And that specifically said that they had a contingency on their house. You guys see the difference there? Mm-hmm. Big deal, okay? But my seller, when I explained all that to them, they're just like, well, I'm so glad you found out all this. How did you find this out? I go, I just read the contract. And then I started doing a little research and figured out kind of what they had there. And then my seller was smart enough to go, well, isn't that a little dishonest by them not quite giving us all that information right from the get-go? And I go, yeah, you could probably say that. So just be wary. Anybody have a comment on that? Is anybody running anything? Ryan, go ahead.
I love that part, just you hit on this, but you asked questions, you asked for information. They gave you a little bit more, which led you to more questions, and you were prepared to ask more questions and drive for more information. But the cool part was you called on the lender and found out on their financials what they really could do at that point.
Sure.
And I bet that agent didn't really care for that a whole lot, but you did your job. How would that have made you look if you would have said, hey, let's take this deal and go to contract, and then in 2 weeks it completely blows up in your face? What does that look like for you?
By all means.
That's a huge hit for you. So having that, the amount of trust and clout that you have with clients moving forward, when you guys call on these lenders, because they're not all like Todd, you got to call these lenders and start asking them questions. It's amazing. They'll open their mouths and start running their mouth big time and say all kinds of stuff they probably shouldn't, but just ask them some questions and see what they'll do. It's amazing what you'll find out on some financial stuff.
Yeah.
You're just doing your job representing your client. You're not trying to do anything unethical. We're just finding out as much information as possible so we can make a great decision on our seller who represent them to go to contract and eventually go to broker.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't mean to have a negative Nelly in there, but this was kind of an interesting little thing. And again, I don't know how much of it was dishonesty versus incompetence, but at the end of the day, they kind of end up being the same. We've got to look out for our people at an extremely high level, especially guys, if you want to get paid more than the other people, you got to do things the other people aren't willing to do. Hey, would it have been nice just to take almost a $700,000 deal and go, boom, there's $20,000 in commission and escrow. Yeah, awesome. That would have been easy to do that. But instead, let's not go down some bunny trail that's going to end up with a complete shit show, right? First cuss word. All right, a couple other things. We will start construction, where the title company's closing office is here. We're blowing that wall out, so Todd's mortgage company has direct access to our office. Pretty scary. And that'll take Todd's massive space. He'll have a little less space there, and then our attorney's going to have more space. That's why we're doing it, just for our 2 tenants to make them happy. That'll actually work out really well for us too. That conference room for Kofelt looks like it will get a little smaller because it'll have now hallway. And then we're probably going to do a little flip-flop with Tim's office and the current conference room. My point is, for the next 3 or 4 weeks, there's going to be a little bit of construction in that corner. So please be patient with us. It's something that we just need to get done. So we'll get in and get it done as fast as possible. Not a big deal. What else?
The last thing I have is just an update on our front desk. We did put out an offer, I told you a couple weeks ago, to a really great candidate, and she had some things change in her life, and she was not able to accept our offer. So we've been, I know, so that we worked really hard. But anyway, we're back at it, and I think we've got multiple interviews. So hopefully we have somebody in there soon.
Perfect.
So.
All right, if we're on this list, next week we go over this list. And by the way, don't come to team meeting. I didn't get it done. I'm not going to team meeting because they're going to make fun of me and all that. Yes, we're going to make fun of you whether you're here or not. So Brandy's going to have the list up here. We will know what you've done. Then we're going to talk about actually engaging it and then using the tools on a regular basis on it. Yeah.
I will be at team meeting next week, but it's not because my name's still on the list.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, before your plane leaves, you log into Agent Kickstart.
You got 24 hours
It
basically.
takes a minute and 10 seconds. What school did you go to?
Yeah.
Belton. Okay.
There you go. All right. We
Very
done?
good. We're done.
You guys have a great week. Congratulations on an amazing month. Yeah. I'm going to head over there now.
Yep.
Oh, oops.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.